So this is the ski resort of Borovets in Bulgaria, recently named the cheapest ski resort to go to in Europe. But is it good or is it absolutely rank? Let's find out. So Bulgaria is a country in Europe, in the Balkans region in fact, and is famous for residents like Dimitar Berbatov and maybe Stilian Petrov? Is he Bulgarian? I'm sure there's loads. Borovets is a ski resort about an hour away from Sofia, the capital, so it's quite easy to get to. Here's a bit I recorded just after we got into our hotel on our first day. So just checked into the hotel here in Borovets. It's a beautiful sunny day. You can see the slopes from our balcony, and it's all good so far. Airport was nice. Sofia Airport, never been to Bulgaria at all before, so it was good to check that out. Nice new buildings, new terminals, easy getting on a coach. We're travelling with a company called Balkan Holidays. It's been pretty smooth so far. The drive up was about an hour, a little bit longer actually, because there's quite a lot of dodgy overtaking going on. As we went on a bit further, someone had a crash, probably because of the aforementioned dodgy overtaking. So it's the cheapest ski resort in Europe, but how cheap is it? I went to Borovets with my two older children, and the three of us slept in one room. We stayed in a mid-priced hotel on a package deal we booked with Balkan Holidays, and this is what it cost us. Flights from London Gatwick to Sofia were £293.50. A week's half-board hotel was £760.50. 6 days ski lessons for an 8-year-old came in at £148, and that includes equipment hire and lift pass. 6 days of ski kindergarten for a 5-year-old, which involved 2 hours of lessons including ski hire and then the rest of the day in childcare, was £131. A 6-day lift pass for me was a mere £117, and it cost me £20 to take my skis and boots on the plane. Take away £83.55 as a discount for booking online, we're left with a very reasonable price of £1,386.45. Still a decent chunk of money, but vastly cheaper than you get anywhere in the Alps. The price included transfers, so really the only things left to pay for on top of this were lunch and drinks. So let's talk about the town of Borovets. It's bigger than I thought. It's centred around a sort of pedestrianised little street. There's lots of shops selling things like souvenirs, clothes, fossils, if you're in the market for a fossil. There's a bookshop if you read mostly Bulgarian books. And it's quite pleasant. Lots of bars, lots of restaurants. There's two main parts of the mountain, so après ski options in the town depend on where you've been. If you're quite good and you've been going up the gondola, then you might well end up at BJ's down at the bottom. Whereas if you've been skiing on the beginner's slopes, there's a real selection of lovely bars around near the Hotel Rila. My favourite is the terrace bar at the Hotel Rila that's got a beautiful deck that you can sit in a deck chair, have a hot chocolate, beer or hot wine or whatever you're into, and just soak up the sun if it's a nice day. If not, there's plenty of bars with inside bits if it's a bit cold. Another nice bar down the bottom is Black Tiger, I think it's called. It sort of becomes a karaoke bar later on, but it starts off as just sort of après ski bar. The only downside of it is it's not in the sun. If you've got a sunny day outside, it's sort of a bit sheltered. But I've been heading there most of the time to meet my daughter from ski school and have a little hot chocolate, beer and a margarita pizza. Overall, I give the town part of Borovets a big thumbs up. It's very pleasant. There's a few nice doggies going around, also a few stray doggies that I feel a bit sorry for. But apart from doggies, there's also nice shops, nice bars, and it's a good place to be. On to our accommodation now. We're staying in a hotel called Hotel Samokov, which is perfectly located for the gondola, but not and a short, maybe 5-minute walk to the beginner's slopes if you're just learning to ski. It's all right. You've got to remember with a lot of this trip, I think you've just got to remember how cheap it is by ski resort standards, and be a bit flexible with it. There's buffet food. I say it's half board buffet food. It's rank, most of it. It's edible, it's not going to kill you, but you wouldn't be happy if you went to a restaurant and ordered a lot of it, sort of thing. There's quite a lot to do in the hotel. The swimming pool is included in the price, but if you're looking at doing the spa, that's a bit of extra money if you want to go in the jacuzzi and things like that, but not a great deal. You get massages as well that aren't particularly expensive. I haven't had one yet, but they seem to be around the sort of 50 to 65 lev mark, which is between 20 and 30 pounds, and so pretty good value compared to in the UK. There's a couple of different gun ranges. You don't get that in Club Med, do you? So that's pretty fancy. 10-pin bowling's good. There's a nice little 10-pin bowling lane there. Taught my kids a lesson there. They're not just in ski school, they're in bowling school this time. Absolutely destroyed them. Really got one of my best scores I've had in many years of bowling, and taught them a real lesson with quite a number of strikes. So yeah, I'm not going to play them again in case I'm not as good. I want them to go away thinking I'm amazing at bowling. But the hotel gets a bit more shaky is the skiing experience. We booked up through Balkan Holidays, and you just sort of book your skiing package and your lessons and stuff like that, and ours was directly with Hotel Samokov. The actual experience of getting hired equipment for my daughter, because if your kids are in ski kindergarten like Otto is, who's 5, that's from ages 3 to 7 I think is ski kindergarten. If you're in that, they sort out the gear, so if you don't have to queue up for it. But queuing up for equipment was absolutely horrendous. It had a sort of war zone refugee camp vibe for it. We got there, lessons start at 10 and we got there about 8:30 and we were still in the queue at 10:15, so they sort of delayed the lesson for some people to get there. My advice would be probably don't bother queuing up for hours, just arrive there late because they're not going to start the lesson without you anyway. Turn up about 5 to 10 or 10 to 10, get your equipment once the lines have died down, and then you'll sort of be all right. The tuition aspect of the ski school at Hotel Samokov was fine, but don't expect the higher health and safety standards of some other places. On the first morning I saw my daughter walking along the road with her skis about 30 metres behind the rest of the group, so I ended up helping her carry her gear to the bottom of the mountain every morning and just meeting the rest of the group there. That said, she enjoyed the lessons and was able to use chairlifts and ski greens and blues after a few days. As for the ski kindergarten, the people were very nice and the ski lesson aspect of things was great. At the end of the week, Otto had gone from not being able to turn to being confident on green and blue runs and able to ski with me up on the mountain. The childcare he was in for the rest of the day was less impressive, however. If you go expecting that the carers will be interacting with the children, you'll be disappointed. It's basically a slightly depressing room with a few toys and a TV where the kids are left to entertain themselves. I ended up picking him up around 1 PM every day after his lesson and lunch because I felt guilty about leaving him there. Hotel Samokov's definitely not the best hotel I've ever been to. I don't know if I would choose it if I came back again, but it's fine. You've just got to be aware that you're going to have to compromise on things. If I was to go again, I think I'd try and stay at Hotel Rila, which is the bottom of the beginner's slopes. It's a bit more expensive. It's a lot nicer, it seems. It seems to get really good reviews. Everyone really likes it. You've got no walk to the slopes in the morning, and it just seems nice. As I say, it was quite a bit more expensive, but just before we left, I did see some last minute deals on it. So let's talk about the mountain now, and there's basically 2 ways of getting up the hill. You can get the gondola, which takes you to a bit over the far side, although there's the main bit by the beginners area outside Hotel Rila, where there's 2 lifts, one a little bit more hidden than the other, that take you up into this area. I don't know what it's called. I'm not going to try pronouncing names of things for this video because it's too hard. I'm just going to put everything down as graphics. It's a nice area. It's not huge. I think you could ski most of it in half a day or so. It's a good beginners area. There's a lot of runs that people can progress to. The base of the mountain where the beginners area does get a bit crowded with ski school things and lots of different classes going on. There's quite a lot of ski schools in Borovets. It does seem a beginner heavy resort. I've not seen many advanced skiers around here, but I might just not be in the right places at the minute. There's lots of runs to progress to as well. My daughter's been in ski school for a couple of days and her class are now going up the chairlift to do blue runs further up the mountains. There's a lot of stuff you can do. This area doesn't have much by way of advanced terrain. I think this run that we're on now, which is actually closed today, I don't know why, it seems in perfectly good condition, is my favourite run so far. It's a black run, might be red on some mountains, but it's black on here. Yesterday it was beautiful, nice powder day. The last 2 days the mountain's been really busy on a Sunday and Monday, but today it seems really quiet up here. I don't know whether Bulgarians just take an extra day for the weekend and ski on Mondays, or because it was just a powder day yesterday, whether they all came out. But today it's beautiful sunshine, still lovely snow. There's hardly anyone up here. It's the first week in January, so it's not the busiest week in general, but it's a lot quieter than it was the last couple of days. There's quite a lot of snow cannons around on the mountain. They've invested quite heavily in snow making, which is obviously good, particularly at this time of the year, but you do occasionally get one in the face, which is quite unpleasant. But yeah, it's quite a lot of that around. So sometimes it can be a really sunny day, but it looks like you're in a bit of a snowstorm because there's so much snow making. But as I say, that's a good thing. So I do think Borovets would be a great place to learn to ski, or just to try out if you want to give it a go, because it's very cheap, and you can sort of test it out. If you haven't got too high expectations for your accommodation and you're a bit flexible, a bit relaxed, you just want to give it a go, I'd 100% recommend it. There's great slopes like this. This is Sintiakovo, which is at the top of the Sintiakovo Express. My Bulgarian's not amazing, if I'm honest. And it's this lovely little blue run. You can see lots of people who clearly, I'd imagine, is their first time ever skiing. They probably only skied for a few days, and they've come to the top of this part of the mountain, the highest point, 1,780 meters, and they're getting to ski down in beautiful sunshine and nice clear slopes. So 100% would recommend this for a beginner, but you do obviously have to accept that you're not going to be living in luxury if you're at my hotel. The other area of the mountain is going up the gondola, which is, I think, to be polite, pretty dated. It's got a bit of a a bit of a Glasgow underground vibe to it, with sort of orange things, but it takes about 25 minutes to get, I think, just under 5 kilometres distance, about a kilometre vertical. There's a 15-minute queue. That's like at 11 AM, so it's not really peak time. But once you get up there, it gets you to the sort of, I guess, more expert terrain. Not really expert, just a bit more advanced sort of stuff. Once you get to the top of the gondola, you've got a chance of turning left into the, I'm going to check my pronunciation, Borovets ski area, which is basically an area of, I think, 3 red runs centred around I think 4-person chairlift. Or you can turn right, as I've just done now, to the Markujic ski area, which has got like a huddle of restaurants. This one's called Bonkers, I think. The staff didn't sing bonkers, so they said perfectly normal, so don't worry about that if that's a concern. And it's quite reasonable prices for mountain food. I just paid 24 euros for a pizza and a beer, which is just over £10, which is pretty good, I think, for mountains, cheaper than I imagine it would be in the Alps. A nice little view, nice bit of sun, but I've not actually been here before, so I'll eat my lunch and then we'll check out the more expert terrain. Quite open and sparse. We're not quite in the Alpine, but there's not a lot of trees that aren't covered by snow up here. It's beautiful on a sunny day though, isn't it? Love it. So this area seems sort of quite open plan. It's sort of centred around this quad chair that I'm on now. There's also a few drag lifts, button lifts as well. There's a few red runs, I think, and there's associated black as well, but I can't quite work out where it is. I think this is going to be fun. I'm going to like this bit. If you've never done skiing before, I thoroughly recommend it. I think I've said this quite a few times before in my videos, but I'm pretty decent, by no means an expert, but I can get down most things on the mountain, but it's not necessarily my favourite bit of it. I like the whole experience of being in a ski resort. I like being up in the mountains. I like the serenity, as Australians would say, the peace and quiet. I like going to little mountain restaurants that you can get to by foot. Some of the best meals I've ever had have been in little huts somewhere in the Alps or something, with a log fire where you just sit for a couple of hours with some friends and have a little drink and bit of food and enjoy it. I like all that. I like getting from A to B. I like just travelling around. Après ski's fun as well. The whole thing's great. I'd much rather have a winter holiday than a summer holiday if I could only pick one. And today, although it's cold, I think it's something like -11 up here. Today, there's no wind really. It's quite quiet and the sun's out. It's just a beautiful day. It makes you feel small, if you know what I mean, in a nice way. It makes you appreciate the scale of the world when you're up the mountain, I think. It's huge, isn't it? Look over there. There's this melt, by the way. It's a bloke with a backpack with a speaker on. That's the scourge of the mountains these days. If you're thinking, oh, I might get a backpack with a speaker on, don't. Because literally everyone who hasn't got a backpack with a speaker on, maybe your mates, thinks you're a cock, and your mates are probably cocks as well. And also, I can't imagine you can really hear your music very well because it's behind you, blaring out behind you. So just put headphones on, stop being a dick. Don't be that bloke. The other thing about these backpack music knobheads is they're never playing something good, are they? It's always the worst thing you can imagine. They're never blaring out Pet sounds or Doggy Style or the first Arcade Fire album, are they? It's always rank. Anyway, let's get down to that other bit of the mountain. That name I can't pronounce, that begins with Y, and I'll show you that before I go pick up the kids. This is us here on the last area now. The thing being why, I can't remember how you pronounce it. As I say, there's a few red runs. It takes you down to the village, but this is another bit where being a boarder would suck a bit here. Like to get between the Markvik, where it was, zone and this one, there's quite a lot of walking to. I just take my skis off and carry them for a bit. And at the bottom, there's a bit where boarders are going to have to unclip as well. But until then, it's really fun runs. So overall, I'm impressed by Borovets. Whether it's the right place for you depends on what you're after. It's a great place for beginners to learn to ski. An inexpensive place to try the sport out for the first time if you're new to it. If you're an advanced skier though, I think you might get bored with Borovets pretty quickly. I think I skied everything in about 3 days. I was only doing maybe 3 hours a day, but there's not much really challenging terrain. So if you're a good skier in a group of good skiers and it's your only trip away of the year, I think you might maybe want to look elsewhere to find the variety you're probably after. If you've not got too big demands on luxury and you're not too fussed about the sort of place you stay, then there's loads of options for you. If you are worried and like the finer things in life, I'd have a look at Hotel Samokov, which gets really good reviews and looks lovely from the bits I've seen. I think if I came again, that's probably where I'd end up staying. In an ideal world. Got to save some cash though, a bit more steep. To sum up though, I officially declare the resort of Borovets not rank.